Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in round 3 for the week, where we have Danger Tier on the right versus Tri-Brigade Sprite on the left. New format, so we'll see how the Danger Tier deck performs without Fairy Tale Snow. Spoiler alert! Banning Snow does absolutely nothing to stop the power limit of this deck. You don't say, well, what about Pega Ruler? What about Helk? Yeah, not enough in my opinion. Not enough. Anyways, we're going to see the tier deck, in quotes, lead with the E-Telly into Xiamen, paying 600, going for the Foxy Tune effect. And, okay, no, he didn't start with E-Telly. I was like, wait, where's the discard for the Foxy? Unless he didn't discard. Hold on. No, okay, he discarded. He just discarded the Super Poly just now. It's a little late. Deer Note hitting the board. Now we're going to synchro for the Dragon Drive. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 Deer Note, Chainlink 3 Xiamen to go ahead and actually, it's the secret effect of Xiamen to boost up the Jam Dragon Drive. Whatever, I'm just going to call it Dragon Drive because I believe that's its name. So Xiamen's secret graveyard effect, Chainlink 3. Deer Note secret, well, not secret effect, Deer Note effect to go ahead and bring back the Xiamen. And then the Dragon Drive to go ahead and pay 600 to add a level 3 Psychic. We're going to see him search out Psychic Tracker and now synchro with the Tracker and the Xiamen into Immortal Dragon. So basically this card has an effect, just to summarize, where it can dump a zombie to the grave and then its level is equal to the difference between the level of Immortal Dragon and the zombie that it sent. So, for example, if you were to send a level 4 off of Immortal Dragon, the difference between 6 and 4 is 2. So it would become a level 2. Immortal Dragon is also a tuner. So it becomes a level 2 tuner with Jam Dragon already on the field, and that would have set up a nice Baron to floor without burning the normal summon, kind of similar to what we would have seen in the past with Chaos Ruler, Hulk things going for Shinobi Necro or Plague Spread or whatever variant they were playing back in the old format. But yeah, we're going to see a Nibiru, main deck Nibiru get dropped here, preventing his opponent from getting to the Baron, which, you know, you'll love to see that if you're the Tri-Sprite player, mainly because this combo would have probably ended in a nice Eradicator lock with Nightmare Griffin and Baron. Which is still very, very much possible, which is scary because, like, it's a very problematic thing that the deck can do, and it can do it consistently, even post-banless. I would love to see Curious get banned. I feel like Curious is just a card that's inherently just not a very healthy card, game design-wise, especially when you pair it with a card like Nightmare Griffin. Like, Nightmare cards just always seem to be a problem. At least just, you know, Mermaid, Goblin, and Griffin. The other three are perfectly okay, but the other three tend to be very problematic and have been. 2 of the 3 are banned. Maybe we'll see the third one go at some point in the future. But to catch up here, we're going to see him normal summon the Rhino Heart after searching it out off of Planet. He'll dump Merly. That'll get hit with DD Crow, allowing him to not be able to fusion. And then we're going to see him activate Mizuki in Graveyard to be able to bring back out that level 6 Immortal Dragon, which again is still a tuner. So he's still able to end on Baron through Crow and Nibiru. Not terrible, not great. We'll see if it ends up being enough here to get the job done. Our Tri-Sprite player leading with the Fractal, dumping Kit, dumping Nerval to add another copy of Fractal. And we'll see how he decides to pick apart this field. Normal summon Fractal. Now, if this doesn't bait out the Baron, I don't know what will. Very, very easy way to bait it out. Otherwise, you know, you let him get access to a free body that helps him link climb. And yeah, as expected, Baron doesn't negate. He only banished for 2 there. Maybe there's a world where you let it go through, but then again, maybe not. But then we're going to see him go ahead and have the extender in that of Fractal, or and of Karis, discarding a Kit. And pretty much right now, you know, all known interruptions are gone. No Snow Engrave, thankfully, right? That's got to be one nice thing here. And yeah, the rest of the graveyard really not doing too much at the moment. Although I believe the Punk Synchro has a graveyard effect. And I will pull that up, actually. Just because I'm pretty sure it has a graveyard effect, if I remember correctly. It says, if your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your punk card or effect activation while this card is graveyard, you can special from this card. Okay, so unless he gets access to his punk engine again, that probably won't come up in this game. But it does, and I wanted to confirm it does have a graveyard effect. So we're going to see Karis banish 4. He'll go for the Ominous Omen. He'll activate its effect. Go ahead and non-target banish, and we'll go ahead and get rid of the Baron. Because that will importantly kind of act as an extender next turn. Even though the negate has been exhausted, it's still going to be an extender on the following turn by being able to bring out something potentially from the graveyard. It could bring out a Rhino Heart, which gets plays going again, so you don't want that. And then we're going to see him go ahead and link off the Shuraig and the Karis into Farigit. And then we're going to see him activate the effect of Shuraig. Do an add 1. And he's going to go ahead and add a copy of Nerval. And he can freely special that to the field now off of the Farigit. So we'll go ahead and use the effect, special from the Nerval. The only name I believe he hasn't used. Well, he hasn't used Kit either. It's on field effect. So could go for a double Dragon Lords. Could go for Bearbrum. And possibly set up an Appaloosa play. So we'll see what line he decides to take. I don't believe the battle phase has been exhausted yet. So maybe there's a world where you can try to do something for more damage heavy plays. I don't know, with like a Doom Eagle into access code. Opponent is at 6,800 to, it's important to remember that because they did pay 12 for punk cards over the course of their turn. So he will go for just Bearbrum. And then we're going to see him link that all into not a 5 material Appaloosa, but a 4 material. Or 3 unless he's linking off with the Nibiru. Oh no, the Nibiru's in the grave. Okay, I was like, is that Nibiru on field? It looked like it was on field for a moment. That was kind of tripping me up there. So there's a 3 material Appaloosa with the Farigit and the Nerval and the Bearbrum, getting the search and put back, getting the draw and put back, and then passing turn there. The 3 material Appo and the Revolt in the back line. Almost forgot the name of the trap card for a second. We're going to see him go to the battle phase, and the token is big enough to contest the Appaloosa, but Revolt is going to protect it, and that we're just going to see our tier players scoop and mid defeat, knowing that the 3 material Appo, trying to play through that in main phase 2 is probably just going to be a little too much. So game 2, guys, shout out to Imperium Duelist. Check them out, the link below. And don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to support the channel and save some money in the process. They also just came out with some new products like dice, their new scapegoat dice. They look really, really cool. Little 3D scapegoats actually inside the dice. They just came out with a brand new mat on new material as well. And it feels really, really great. I've had mine for a couple days now. It's probably one of the nicer mats I've owned. And they also have new colors available for their Pegasus sleeves. So check that out. Again, link down below. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link found in the description of all my videos as well. So we're going to see tier open literally, now that I see the discard, almost exactly identical to what we saw in game 1. E-Telly for Xiamen. Xiamen effect search the Foxy. Foxy pitch itself in Super Poly to summon Deer Note. Synchro 8 into the Dragon Drive. We did get interrupted with 2 hand traps last time, but we're going to try again to see if our opponent is nice like that and having 2 more hand traps again. He'll get the Psychic Tracker search off the Dragon Drive, special summon it, Synchro 6 into Immortal Dragon effect, go ahead and send a zombie, and level mod, we're going to see it dump a level 4, so now it is a level 2 tuner with the level 8 Dragon Drive. So this will open up to a copy of Baron. And he also has the Mizuki now in the graveyard, which is a nice little bit of follow-up as well. And Terraforming. How many cards is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 cards the exact same. E-Telly, Super Poly, Terraforming, and Foxy. No, not Foxy. 3 of the same cards, right? E-Telly, Terraforming, Super Poly. 3 of the exact same cards in the opening hand. That is insane. Must be nice. So we're going to see him use the Terraforming to get access to Planet. Planet effect, go ahead and search out Rhino. Normal summon Rhino. Rhino effect, go ahead and send a copy of Merly. Will we see a DD Crow this time? We do not. And we're also insulated from one hand trap here anyways. And we're going to see him fuse off with the Rhino and the Merly into Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos effect to go ahead and add or send. We'll see him send Solic effect to go ahead and search out not another Rhino art, but we'll see him go ahead and probably add maybe a Sharon here. Or go ahead and add another Merly to go for the casual mill 8. I think that's probably a good line right there as well, just to see how many names can we hit. But first, a Jackalope. Open up dangers here as well. Only 3 cards in hand, so the odds are high to hit it, at least 33%, but he does not, so the Jackalope will summon itself out, draw, and Merly will not use the Merly effect, because we're probably just saving it to use with Kit in case some of our dangers don't go through, but they are going through. Snake will resolve, summoning and drawing, and he does hit the Havness out of the hand. We'll see if he uses Havness here to fusion. Maybe go for a Garura or a Mud Dragon, using Havness and the Immortal Dragon. I assume this will be up for Mud Dragon, both dark, 1 zombie, 1 aqua, summoning that up into the EMZ, and making sure he has a zone to summon out the Merly off the kit. So we chainlink 2 Merly, chainlink 1 kit to go ahead and mill 8 cards off the top, steam the cloak, 2 spells, red, double E-Telly, Merly, and a copy of Nessie. Seeing the cloak kind of bonkers, banned for a reason, right? It does have a nice little graveyard effect, right? I think it contribute a monster you control, just go ahead and special summon itself back out. It's been a very long time since I used Steam. I think the last time I even played that card was in a Block BA deck. I think I played it for a very limited time. Yeah, this card is your graveyard. You contribute a monster, special summon this card from your graveyard. So it is a once per duel effect as well. We're going to see him link into the Yieldy Sprite Elf. I think one of the most busted link monsters probably ever printed. It's definitely in the conversation. Definitely not the most busted, but it's definitely in, like, maybe the top 5, top 10. Absolutely insane card. So we're going to see him bring out Merly, bring out Steam there as well. So we can get rid of the Jackalope, I guess, for different typing, or you got rid of something else to be able to go for that, curious. And also get the token summon from the Steam as well. Because when that hits the grave, it does summon a token from field. And I think the token is Aqua, interestingly enough. Yeah, the token is a Aqua Wind. Level 1 attack 100, defense 100. So doesn't that just work out well for tier limit plays? We're going to see the Curious dump the usual suspect here, the Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Curious mandatory effect, mill 3. There's the Shyren. Does not use Shyren yet. So we'll see what he's going to go ahead and fusion with. If he decides to fusion, could go for maybe a Dragostapelia. Now, the important thing you have to keep in mind here is that if he is going to set up Eradicator, he needs a dark monster on field to be able to get rid of with it. Whether it be a Gigantic Sprite, someone with a Link monster, right? Or in this case, be Dragostapelia, which is at 3,200 right now because of Planet. And then we can see him link off the Curious and the Token to go for Griffin. And this is also where zoning matters because, while Griffin is on the field, it says special summon monsters cannot activate their effects unless they are linked. And we're going to see him use the on-field effect of Griffin to discard the Solic to go ahead and set back a spell or trap in the grave. Of course, it's Eradicator. Eradicator effect in the draw phase to go ahead and call spells and just makes the opponent drop 3 cards just like that. Still having to do with an Omni Negate and basically a skill drain. And we'll also have to worry about Elf bringing out Merly and attempting to hit more names to fusion summon and create even more interruptions, especially you have to take into account he could have access to something like Kaleido Heart with a field spell that's a pop 2 or removal of 2 cards while having to play through everything else. The evenly match obviously going to get negated. We're going to see Fractal fire off now, and maybe we're going to possibly see Elf chain in response. Doesn't need to worry about bringing back something like Totally Awesome. So long as the opponent doesn't have any monsters, we're not going to make too big a difference in the outcome of what he's able to bring out with this. And the opponent just checking the extra deck right now. See what is going to be the best thing to be able to send. He's going to send a Cobalt Sparrow and summon Warbler. And then, whoops, you can't use Warbler because of Nightmare Griffin. And, yeah, I think realizing that, he's going to go ahead and admit defeat. And we are on to a Game 3 situation. Where, as expected, we will see the Tri-Sprite deck go first. Looks like a copy of Solemn Judgment in the opening hand and one other trap card. Can't tell what it is. We'll see him normal summon Nerval. Link it off for Almirage. Nerval effect. Go ahead and add a copy of Karass in order to keep playing here. Effect discarding Kit. And that will be successful. And we'll probably see Karass banish 2. Maybe summon a Farragut. Maybe summon... could go double Dragon Lords, but also going to use Kit here as well. Definitely want to make sure to remember that effect. Get an extra name in the graveyard. Activate effect of Karass, banishing 2 to go for a copy of Bearbrum. And then we'll see him link with just the Karass and the Bearbrum into maybe a Rugal here. Or he's going to go for another link too. Could maybe go for Farragut. Could go for double Dragon Lord, but we are going to see him go for the Rugal. And he will still get access to Revolt here. And Revolt with the Rugal is kind of nice because it gives you the flexibility to not have to use your Shureg right when you bring it out off of Revolt. Because Shureg can just be procced when it's summoned, or anytime I think a Beast Warrior Wing Beast is special summoned or summoned. And obviously Rugal having that quick effect to bring back something from the grave to potentially trigger at any point is really, really nice. Not to mention the follow-up that Rugal can potentially offer by the name it brings back. Survives to the end phase, it gets added back to the hand. So we will see our tier player lead with Shiren, discarding Rhino Heart, I believe, and he'll hit a Merly. And Merly effect will trigger. He'll also use Rhino Heart to go ahead and summon itself back. So the Merly will resolve fusion summoning for Kit Kalos and discarding the Shiren for the Rhino Heart. And could possibly have 3 effects here, but just opting to use, I would imagine, unless it's like Chainlink 3 Rhino Heart, Chainlink 2 Shiren, Chainlink 1 Kit. But it looks to be like it's going to be Chainlink 3 Kit, Chainlink 2 Rhino. And I'm not sure if he actually ended up using Shiren there, because he just dumped Havnus anyway, so he could use that effect regardless. And we're going to see him fuse for the big boy for Kaleido Heart. And Kaleido Heart is going to go after the anti-spell to shuffle that back into the deck, and that will go through. Now opening him up to be able to use spells. And now the opponent just wanted to take a nice little read here, something you don't see Yu-Gi-Oh! Players do very often. Take a nice little read on the opponent's cards here. Both very, very strong fusion monsters. So definitely not a bad idea to know exactly what they do. We're going to see Revolt here on the resolution of that. To go for 4, to go for the Shureg. Probably realizing the fact that Kit Kalos has a pretty busted effect on field to be able to bring out another name and destroy itself in the process to mill 8 cards again. We're going to see Droplet chained in response, pitching another Droplet to hit the Shureg to turn that off. But we're going to see that Solemn Judgment come in clutch here to shut it down, since he did not pitch a trap card. And why would he at this point? So now we're going to see the Kit go ahead and get banished, and we're going to see him get to search off of the Revolt, resolving a copy of Kit for follow-up. And we also still have Rugal. Now we're going to see him be forced to use the normal summon of Merly, Card Trooper in 2022, mills 3. It does not hit anything. Gamma, Snake, and 1 other spell card. And at this point, what can you really do outside of maybe, I guess, Link for Elf, since Merly is a level 2. That kind of will get the... I mean, honestly, this kind of gets Kaleido Heart out of the loop permanently, since there's no way you get it back to the extra deck at this point because it cannot be used as fusion material. So we're just going to see him go for Elf, bring back Merly, go for Gigantic, detaching Merly. It's also a 3200 Gigantic right now, for what it's worth, to be able to help beat over something potentially here in the battle phase. We're going to see him summon out Blue effect, go ahead and search probably Jet. And this is one of the craziest things, too, like, about these two engines. And Sprite has definitely become more so an engine now than it ever was with the banning of Ronin Totem and Helk. as we see him resolve Jet here to go ahead and search Smashers. It's just crazy to me that like making Merly a level 2 has just opened up so much, like, in terms of crossover that these two decks can have. It's absolutely absurd. How just mid combo all of a sudden you're searching out Smashers and getting access to Gigantic and Elf, which is just a free extender. We're not bringing back Toad, but who cares? We're bringing back Merly, which is potentially letting us fusion summon the opponent's turn for a wide array of very powerful fusion monsters, especially if you pair Rhino with it. It gets even better. But Judgment in Time is always a bit of a controversial thing because it's a very strong going first card. Really wouldn't blame anybody for siding in because of how powerful it is. We're going to see the Elf attempt to swing over the Almirage. Almirage will just chain. And then Battle Phase, he'll just go over the Shurig for 200, dropping his opponent down to 38. And again, time is pretty close to being called right now. Probably just a couple minutes left on the clock, and the Solemn Judgment really isn't helping here in the life point side of things. We're going to see him set one, probably Smasher, setting another one, which I believe is that Super Poly that we saw very early on when the anti-spell was used. We'll see his opponent pass turn there. The Caress will get bounced back to the hand because of the Rugal and a draw for turn. Gonna need all that he can to be able to try to push through this field and get a lot of damage in because there's a big life point difference to make up this point. 4,200 worth of damage. 4,300 at least if you want to be able to win in time. Checking the graveyard right now to see what is available for him to be able to bring back. And now that, like I said, the Kaleido Heart is in the graveyard, it's going to be kind of hard to get back, period. Just because, again, it cannot be used as fusion material, so it's not like he'd bring out Merly, Merly hits something, and then make a fusion with it like a Dragostapelia, and then be able to somehow try to make another fusion again to bring the Kaleido Heart back out. Very glad they put that line of text on Kaleido Heart, otherwise that card would just be absurd. So we're going to go ahead and see him use Caress here, pitching Kit effect to go ahead and send. We're going to see him send Nerval. Nerval effect, we're going to see him chain Elf in response to bring out Blue. And Nerval will be Chainlink 1 and Blue will be Chainlink 2. Unless he is using the Blue effect, we'll see, yep. Blue going to probably go ahead and grab Red. Probably like one of the last sprite cards left in the deck, if I'm being totally honest. Probably very, very small sprite engine. So I guess that's something. And it's also a discard target now for Super Poly. So Super Poly is online. That is something you have to keep in mind here. We're going to see him activate Caress, banishing what look to be 3. Or 4 going for Rugal. Or not Rugal, my bad. Shurig. And Shurig effect. To go ahead and non-target banish is going to hit one of the sets. And, yep, it does not target, so saying okay will mean that it is going to go through and no opportunity to be able to chain that Super Poly. To be fair, I don't even know if he could have Super Polyed anything on the board. I mean, like, he could have Super Polyed the Shurig and, like, the blue into a Mud Dragon, but that really doesn't do too much and doesn't stop the Shurig effect anyways, and it gets him a card to hand, so, yeah, probably no good spot to actually Super Poly there. And now we're going to see him commit the normal summon of Fractal. And I feel like there's got to be a decent amount of stuff here to be able to try to go for game. The only thing that's going to be kind of a roadblock here is that Smashers, because it's going to make an access code play very, very vulnerable to the Smashers. We're going to see him go for the Desperate Doom Eagle, banishing 3 here. And then we're going to see him link off the Rugal and the Caress. Possibly into access code. Yep, looks like he will. Go for access code on summon, targeting the Rugal engraved to make it 5,300, and on resolution, there is the Smashers as expected. Banish the blue, banish Jet from grave, banish the access code, and now is just left with Fractal, Shurig, and Doom Eagle, which I don't think any of which are enough, honestly, to get over this 3,200 Gigantic. Yeah, Doom Eagle is at 2,400, and the opponent does have plenty of monsters in the graveyard, so will not be gaining that bonus attack. So we're seeing Battle Phase, Shurig over Elf for 16, and that's literally about as much damage he can get in right now. If only there was a second access code in the extra deck. And we'll see what the play from here is going to be in main phase 2. Again, time is ticking. We're going to see the Doom Eagle go ahead and shuffle back. I believe that was a Merly into the deck. So that kind of keeps that offline for a potential elf play, assuming that there is maybe another elf in the extra deck. We're going to see him shuffle that back in. The opponent will cut, draw for turn. We know red is in hand, so we'll start by special summoning red. And, I mean, at this point, you're ahead in life points by a decent amount here. And time is literally very, very close to being called. I mean, the only thing you have... And I think there's a Tear in hand as well. I think it might be a Havness. And I don't know what else our Tri-Sprite player has to work with here. Now, maybe if our Tier player just went straight to the battle phase, acknowledging that they didn't have anything to do, maybe our Tri player gets a little extra turn. He's going to search DD Crow. He does that extra 200 damage over the Shurig and leaves him with not much, and that is going to be time in the round. So we are going to see the Tier deck end up winning there in time. I know some people are going to say slow play, but I went back and looked at the footage. The game ended in a very friendly manner. There was no ill intent to that. Just wanted to make sure that he could do all the damage that he could there, and, you know, fair and square, right? So that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Justin Lamb, HE8 Cyber, and Mango. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and generous support of the channel.